What up? This is Bri with Eagles Real Talk, and today we will be going over the power rankings going into week 12. We have some early games on Thanksgiving, so let's get it in. But before we do, hit that subscribe button if you're new, hit a like on this video, and yeah, ding that bell so you know when I post in the future. Let's get straight into it. So we're going to start out with the bottom five. Now, these are the tankers. This is the team that are trying to lose games at this point to get a better pick. And let's start off with the top. It's the Texans. They're 1-8-1. This team has been, pretty bad all year. They do contend from time to time, but they're a pretty bad team. No need to even talk about them too much. So the Broncos, let's ride nation. It's not riding too good this year. The wheels are falling off. I thought by getting a new quarterback in Russell Wilson, this team was going to be pretty solid this year, but they had some injuries. And besides that, Wilson hasn't been good. He's been an absolute shell of himself. So they're a bottom five team. I don't even know where this team is headed. They're locked in with Russell Wilson for probably another 3-4 years. I don't know where they go from here. Now, this next group is the dumpster fire division, okay? These are teams with maybe a few wins. Let's start off with the Browns at 3-7. They're allowing 27 points per game. They couldn't stop a nosebleed with a beach towel at this point. They're just a dumpster fire. They do have Watson coming back, but I don't feel like that's going to improve their roster much. They may finish with 6, 7, 8 wins. They're going to miss the playoffs. We have the Packers. The Packers are a complete dumpster fire, and you know who loves it? Me. I love it. I love it when the Packers are trash, and I love it when, Aaron Rodgers is crying and bitching on the sidelines, and I expect them to keep bitching this week when they go up against the Philadelphia Eagles at the Link. Let's go, Birds. This next group of teams are the outsiders, okay? So they're the teams on the outside, looking in, hoping, praying, clawing, try to get into the hunt and into that category where they can maybe make the playoffs. But I feel like these teams won't make the playoffs. Let's start at 22, the Colts. Besides Taylor and Pittman, their offense hasn't been too great. They're led by Matt Ryan. They just fired their coach a couple weeks ago. Jeff Saturday left ESPN to be their new head coach. I think this team is somewhat, dumpster fire as well, but they barely made it into the outside looking in. This next 5 teams, they're the teams that are scraping and clawing. They're in the hunt right now, and they're trying to make the postseason. Let's start off with the Chargers, who are 5-5 and also allowing 5.5 yards per carry, which is the worst in the NFL. Number 16, Jets with Zach Wilson at the helm at quarterback. I don't believe in this team at all. They have a hell of a defense with Sauce and the boys, but Zach Wilson is awful. I knew he's going to be a bust coming in. I don't know how this guy was drafted number 2 in the NFL draft. It's crazy to me. He doesn't take accountability. He looks like a little spoiled brat. Can't stand how he plays the quarterback position. I don't want nothing to do with this team. They're going to be declining as the year goes by unless they bench that boy. Going to the next team, Buccaneers, 5-5. Now, this is a disappointing team, but with Tom Brady, you can never count him out. If any team makes the playoffs out of these 5 teams in the hunt, I believe it'll be the Buccaneers. In front of them, 6-4, the Patriots. They haven't scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter all year. I can't believe in a team that does that or doesn't do that. The Commanders, they beat my Birds a couple weeks ago. What can I say? They had a lucky game. The refs helped them out. We didn't play good. But they're sitting at number 13. They got Chase Young back. I think this team will be solid. If they do make the playoffs, they could be a little tricky out, Heineke has the team playing pretty solid. He's not a turnover machine like Carson Wentz. Who knows what this team can do? But right now, they're in the hunt trying to, lock down a playoff spot, a wild card spot. These next set of teams are playoff-bound squads, okay? Or for what I believe, they'll make the playoffs. So we have the Seahawks, 6-4, Giants at 7-3. Now, they have no wide receivers, okay? They traded away Tony. Galladay has basically been on a holiday all year. He has 4 catches for 51 yards. It's a disgrace. They should just cut that man. The Bengals are right in front of them at 6-4. They're managing without Chase right now. Burrow is doing just enough to keep them in the playoffs. 49ers are in front of them with Jimmy G. He's playing solid. If he doesn't turn over the ball in the fourth quarter, they got CMC back. I think they could be formidable in the playoffs. I definitely think they're headed to the playoffs, but right now they're 6-4. In front of them is the Titans. Now, the Titans are, I feel like, one of the most slept on teams in the NFL, and that's partially due to the quarterback position. If there's any weak links on the team, it's at the quarterback position. They're 31st in passing. They don't even have 2,000 yards passing on the year, and we're more than halfway through the year. So the passing is definitely a problem. Now, these are the contenders, okay? They're not elite, but they're on the borderline. A couple things go their way. They could end up in that elite category. But right now, these are the contenders, okay? They can contend with any team in the NFL. Now, let's go with the Ravens at number 7. Now, they don't have no deep passing threat, and they're having a lot of injuries this year. Bateman's out. Andrews has been banged up. But they have, MVP-like quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and he's leading them, throughout these injuries, and he's managing the ship pretty damn well. The Vikings are right in front of them. Now, these teams could be switched in and out. The Vikings are 8-2. They have really bad losses on their record from the Eagles and from the Cowboys, but they are 8-2, and at the end of the year, all that matters is the W's. So if they're going to, finish at, near the top of the league, I have to keep them as a contender because they've shown that they can beat teams like the Bills, but they've also shown that they can't beat some of the elite contending teams in the NFL. So the Vikings are like that wild card for me this year. And in front of them is the Cowboys, those funky ass Cowboys. Their run defense has allowed 200-yard games over the past 3 weeks. But last week against the Vikings, they completely shut down Cook and that running game. And who knows, that maybe they're back on track. But until they can show me that they can hold down the run, I don't know about this team. I'm going to tell you the running backs that they have left on their schedule. Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, King Henry, Travis on the Jaguars, Miles Sanders, and Pierce. So they got a hell of a load coming up. Maybe, in cold weather, they could start to, take a couple L's. We'll see how they finish the rest of the year. But to me, they're on that borderline of elite teams. Now, this is the elite teams in the NFL. Let's start off with the Bills. Now, the Bills were currently number 2 on my power rankings, but they slipped. They dropped a couple games, and let's be honest, they turn over the ball too damn much. Ball security is a problem. Josh Allen has the second most interceptions in the NFL. So there's a lot of talk about him being the MVP, the front runner, but how can he be the front runner when he's turning over the ball that much? This team is susceptible for turning over the ball, so they are number 4. But besides that, this team is pretty stacked. Let's be real. Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins are sitting at 7-3. They had a bye last week. I think they're going to, step on the gas moving forward. I actually feel like they're going to win the AFC. I really do. I don't believe in the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Chiefs. They're number 2 on my list, okay? Now, with that said, the Chiefs have been being bailed out by the refs a lot this year, especially on prime time. It seems like whenever they need a call to go their way, it goes their way. But with that said, they have the best tight end in the league, and he's a big game changer. Scored 3 touchdowns this week. A couple weeks ago, he had 4 touchdowns. This guy is on a tear. The older he gets, the better he gets, and I'm talking about Travis Kelce. This guy's the best player on their team. Yes, even better than Mahomes, in my opinion. And to me, he's the key. If you can shut down Kelce, then you can beat the Chiefs. But we'll see. Right now, they have an 8-2 record. We'll see how they perform going forward. But like I said, they've had some help from the refs. You can go back and check the tape. Now, the number 1 team in the league, the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles not only have the best record in the league, but I feel like they have the best quarterback in the league. They've been pound for pound the best NFL team this year. You know, we get turnovers on defense. We don't turn over the ball that much on offense, even though the past couple weeks we've had some turnovers. But this week, we overcame the adversity. We played 3 quarters pretty much of mediocre to bad football, I'll be honest with you. But that fourth quarter, it was money time. Jalen Hurts said, hey, I got this. I'm going to put the squad on my back. I'm going to show why I'm an MVP candidate. And he did what he had to do, led us to a victory. As long as it's a W at the end of the year and not a loss, and we get the number 1 seed, that's all that matters. An ugly win is better than no win at all. And don't ever let someone tell you different. A lot of people try to poo-poo our win by saying, oh, we barely won and this and that. But hey, a win is a win. So the Philadelphia Eagles, you know, they're flying high right now. They're on top of the standings, and I feel like they're going to finish the year on top of the standings. That's going to do it for my Week 12 power rankings. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and let me know, who is your top 5? Who is your elite teams in the NFL this year? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you tomorrow. Fly, Eagles, fly, and keep it real always. Peace.